BattleGoat video. Take 7. Yeah, you need us to clap.
Welcome to the BattleGoat Studios developer vlog, which we will regularly use to inform you of what exciting things are happening at this studio. And since this is the first one, we have no regular schedule, so welcome aboard. I'm George, this is Chris, and this is Brad from our development team. Behind the camera we have Eric. We also, what? We also have on our team, not present with us physically today, Stefan, who's still doing our great graphics work, and David, who gives us moral support, maybe? And copy editing and stuff. We also have other people who work with us for things like our music and so on. So some of what's new in the Supreme Ruler world. We are currently working on some exciting stuff. We have the Supreme Ruler Ultimate update, which we are working on one of our semi-annual, is that 6 months? Semi-annual? Semi-annual updates. And we have some interesting new content and some very exciting new updates to the engine. And we also have Supreme Ruler Great War, which we will be happy to talk to you a little bit about. Boy, that was hard to say. So Brad, do you want to say some of the exciting stuff you're working on for the Supreme Ruler update?
Yeah, sure. So some of the stuff we've been working on is we've been communicating with Neri, and we got his latest round of models, and we have been implementing most of those into the game. So you should see some new naval units, some new aircraft, and some new tanks in the latest update. As well, we've been working on relationship changes because that has been a big topic of discussion since the latest update. So we have been fixing those relationships and making them more in tune with the modern day.
Also leader updates.
Yes, we also updated the leaders since there had been elections since the last update. So new pictures and new names for those nations.
And for those who don't know, Neri is a forum user slash modder who's been connected with the community for, it's got to be going on 2 years now.
Yeah, I believe it is 2 years.
Building some additional models for the game, just to try and put more variety to that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's been a good member of the community, created some great models, so we're more than happy to add them to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And also for those, some of you might not be as familiar with Brad, he worked with us a little bit last summer doing our 2016 update. He was brought back on board this year to work on a top secret project, but that was a trick, and now he's been working on Supreme Ruler Ultimate so far this year, but at some point we might actually have something new to talk about in the future as well. So one of the exciting things we're doing with Supreme Ruler Ultimate is we've been able to do some engine development that we hadn't expected because of the Supreme Ruler Great War project. So some of the flexibility we've been given in the fact that we're doing a new title in the Supreme Ruler universe, franchise, whatever, is that we were able to open up a couple of things on the engine that have been on everybody's wish list, or at least a lot of wish lists. One of them is have updated the engine's basic DirectX universe. I use the word universe too much. And that's resulted in some performance improvements. So that's going to affect, even though the work was done for Great War, we're pushing that work back onto Ultimate. Some improvements 10 to 20% faster. And the other one that some people are going to be excited about is we're also working on a new entirely new multiplayer code, which is going to use the Steam multiplayer, Steam networking, and Steam matchmaking. And so that'll bring our multiplayer into this century, and we're really excited. So that, even though it was done for the Great War project, we're pushing back to Ultimate as well, and it's one of those benefits. I know not everybody might be excited about World War I, though it is a great war. The greatest.
It's going to be great.
This war is going to be the greatest war. It's really great. But even if don't think that's maybe your cup of British and German tea, the fact is that the work we're doing there is also allowing us to continue to do more work on Ultimate as well. So support it. And Chris, tell us about the great things in the Great War.
Thanks, George. Yeah, and this has been one of the things. It's been great to come back because I took, as some people know, I took a sabbatical from being with BattleGoat for a while, that I had projects with another studio. But early on in 2017, you and I got talking about where we saw things going with BattleGoat, what else existed in the franchise, your top secret projects and stuff like that we decided, we were thinking about where does the company stand and what do we want to do next. And we had always had the jokes about the fact that Supreme Ruler Ultimate means last, and I'm never going to let you live that one down. But we had those discussions and realized that there is still an interest in the World War I period, that there's not a whole lot of games out there that focus on World War I. So as we looked at the engine, looked what we could still do, there was this realization that by making one more project, by adding that additional content, it also ramps up the team so that we can add a little bit more to the game that is capable of being pushed back. And a lot of the scope that we set for Supreme Ruler Great War was saying, okay, how do we make a World War I game that has that content that people want to see, and pick and choose the aspects that are going to have benefits to both the new title and things that we can push back to Supreme Ruler Ultimate. So over the last number of months, we've done a lot of the core work around getting the map set, getting the inventories of units for all the countries, getting the leaders, the flags, the various units, getting some new models in place, not just the stuff that Neri's providing us, because obviously his focus has generally been on the eras we're already covering, that we needed to expand some of the earlier models and stuff. And that's, again, you mentioned, Stefan, that his work continues to be featured. We have like, he must have provided us over 700 models by now, especially between the units, the buildings, and all the rest of it. Yeah, so the map's coming together really well. That a lot of the work we're doing right now is starting to play out the map, see how the relationships are working, see how the events are working, and starting to set up more than just that first day or two of the game, and starting to see how it's playing out between the regions. So development's continuing well with focus on, as you mentioned, the performance and engine stuff to be able to help both projects. And I guess at this point I can actually announce the date. I can say that we have locked in that the project will be ready for a launch on August the 1st of this year. So yeah, and for our studio, this is the fastest Supreme Ruler turnaround I think we've done, barring things like the Trump DLC, which was its own thing, of course.
It was really great too.
It was really great. Yes. Yeah, I still love that you can build the wall. I do think that was genius, and I wasn't even here for that. I can't even claim the genius on that. So, but yeah, so Great War is going well. We're looking to get that all packaged. The website, the Coming Soon website, should be accessible within the week, so that people will be able to see a couple more screenshots, some things updated. And we definitely appreciate the feedback we got. Like some of the early screenshots, people noticed that we hadn't finished adjusting some of the borders. Germany, Denmark, I think, was the one that was called out. So we've been able to keep going back, refining that process, and the project's looking pretty good. Excited to bring it out.
Excellent. To a section where I know Eric has asked people to ask us questions on social media. So he has prepared some of your questions for us, and some of them we'll answer, and some of them we won't.